Uh, I guess the very first thing I should do as a coach is apologize to the fans here. They don't deserve what they got tonight. Uh, the first half we were fine. We played great basketball and we moved the basketball, and I thought the pace of the game was great. The second half was a disaster and it was an embarrassment. As the coach of this team, I want to apologize to every King fan out there because you do not deserve this. You deserve much, much better, and we'll find guys that will give you better. Can't do that. You can't do what we did the second half. And the one thing we talked about before we came out was, we have to start establishing ourselves from a home standpoint. On the road we've been fine. I think we're 5-5 on the road, but we hadn't won home games, and it all starts with home games, really. Excuse me. It all starts with home games. You got to establish yourself at home, and then if you can do what we did on the road, that's what gives you a good year in this league. But to battle and have more road wins than home wins, your fans don't deserve that.
Alvin, they're in the third quarter. When things are slipping away and then you see your team continuously take bad shots, just what was going through your mind at that point?
Well, everyone talk about our defense, but our offense is the biggest culprit for our defense, really. When we take bad shots, it's just like shooting a turnover, really. And we played with poise and we played with ball movement. We played with great pace in the first half, and we got good shots, and that's why we shot 50%, in the first half. And then the third quarter we did not, and it was a disaster. We scored, I think, 13 in the third and 18 in the fourth or something. And that's mainly comes when we're not moving the basketball and not taking good shots. And so we can talk about how bad our defense is, but our offense has a lot to do with that.
Alvin, I don't want this to sound smart alecky in any way, but how concerned are you that this just might be what this team is? Kind of this up and down Jekyll and Hyde team and then if it is, just how do you kind of overcome some of those characteristics?
I don't think you're being smart at all. I mean, if I was someone sitting in the stands, I would think the same thing. We talked about it today. We can't be that Jekyll and Hyde team, that plays great one game, plays great one half. The thing that I think is the most important in a basketball team, at least over the years I've been around, is that consistency. Can you count on something night in and night out that you're going to get, and be that making shots, be that defense, be that whatever it is, you got to have something that you can count on consistently. And I didn't see that tonight. I thought we had a great first half, did so many good things. I thought we were active defensively. We caused turnovers. And then in the third quarter, that went away. And I'm searching. Trust me, I will do everything that I possibly can to find out why that is the case and why we're doing that, and we will get it corrected.
Yeah, and Coach Gentry, I'm not trying to sound smart alecky or arrogant either, but because a few of us we've been seeing this for season after season, with the third quarters and the fourth quarter, drawbacks. Failures at times. I know you're searching for answers, but the third quarter, coming out like that. I mean, we saw with the coach that you replaced. What can you do to? And I'm not saying it's a curse or anything like that, but it is definitely a pattern. At least it has been over the season. And here we are with another season with these third quarters and these fourth quarter type of breakdowns. How can you solve these issues that this team have been plagued with for years, for seasons?
Well, I do think, I think that's a good question, and we have to keep searching, changing personnel, making substitutions early. And we really kind of did that tonight, but we've just got to get to the point where we're a better basketball team coming out in the third quarter, and if that means getting out earlier and getting more work in, or sending out coaches in the third to make sure that we're warm up and warm up adequately, then that's what we'll have to do.
Alvin, how would you assess the pride and the fight of this team? It seems like they revert back to bad habits when things aren't going correct, and then to have the Let's Go Lakers chants really taking over the arena. How do you assess just the team's ability to overcome that?
Well, number one, they chant that because they're here and the way we played, the way you shut people's mouth and keep them from cheering in your arena is that you kick their ass, and we didn't do that, and it was vice versa. So yeah, they were chanting that. You should be livid that anyone would come in and have their audacity to do that in your arena. But when we played the way we played, the second half, I don't know how you combat it. The way you combat it is that you got to compete at a high level, and you got to get things done, and you got to win games on your home court, so those kind of things doesn't happen. I don't see anyone cheering "Let's go Warriors" when they play in L.A., and or anything like that. So, if you're going to have a lot of fans in the stands, then the way you shut them up is that you got to play and you got to win games on your home court.
Alvin, do you feel like this team's issues are more mental in terms of like mindsets, or physical in terms of just not being able to do certain things?
I think you can compete at the highest level that you can compete at, and I think coaches will accept that. That's what I think. I think if you go out and you compete at the highest level, and you can look in the mirror and know that you played as hard and did everything you could as a teammate to help the team, then that's all any coach would ever want. That's all the great coaches ever want.
All right, Coach, we'll take one more on Zoom. Brendan, you need.
Hey, Coach, how much do you feel like, or do you feel like there's any aspect of, we've heard pace pushed so often, is that something that players should be able to keep up for 48 minutes, especially in a game like this where you have foul trouble early and a couple guys out? Do you think that's an issue at all?
No, I don't. I don't see that as an issue. I think we don't. It's not like we play 6 or 7 guys. We play 8, 9, sometimes 10 guys, and so as far as pace and doing that, I don't see that as an issue. I don't see that. We don't have guys that's playing, 15 consecutive minutes or anything like that. And, basically we're a pretty young team, other than a couple of guys. So I think it gives us the best opportunity to win. That's why we do it. If we didn't, we would play a different style. And what we've got to do is that we got to stop turning the ball over. We had, I think, 20 turnovers for 24 points, something like that. And then we have to execute where we're getting good shots. And we've got to have a balance of shooting so that we allow our defense to get back and get set.